Hello, hello, and welcome. Season 6! Here we go. Who's excited? Some
I
other
am.
people. I'm sort of excited. But I'm sure everybody else is, because it was a fun draft still. Crazy format. Too many points that we had available to us. Teams are crazy. How will anybody prep? I don't know. Hello, Ryan. How we doing?
Doing all right. I'm excited. This is like what, our fifth time doing this in a row? Has it
Fifth.
been all six season?
I don't
I don't
think it
even
was the first one. No way. I
I
don't.
don't think it was either. But I always look forward to this. I love the hot takes. I love when people watch this and say your
Sixth.
rankings are garbage. And that's great because it's just two guys with two
Two
opinions.
guys with two opinions that spent 2 minutes making said
That's
opinions.
true.
Okay.
Literally less than five for me.
Two, two, two.
It's it's gonna be pretty hard. Pretty hard. All teams look good.
Oh yeah,
You know,
it's
like
pretty much impossible. I have no idea. Anything could happen. Our rankings of our course, just on team draftedness, not on where I think people will place.
mhm.
Is the general consensus. Let's just start off talking about the draft a little bit here. I had spot 4, you spot 10, and it seemed like it was a little top heavy this time, I think, in the draft, yeah? Where
Yeah,
you
I
wanted to
agree.
be up front. I know you were pretty much boomed after day 1 and stopped the whole draft when the 9 Pokemon you wanted went and then had to pick something you weren't 100% keen on. And I got exactly what I wanted at the beginning. I got my Ho-Oh. I got spot 4. I'm sick. I think a lot of other people got what they wanted to. Colin got what you wanted. You know, Keegan got what you
Austin,
wanted. Austin
yeah,
got what you
Keegan,
wanted.
Austin. Like, yeah, there was four Pokemon going into this that I was like happy. Like, I'd be like super happy with building a team, and then another like three or four where I'm like, you know what? If they fall to me, it'll be good. You know, like this is a good Pokemon, and and yeah, they didn't. So I was a little tilted,
Yeah.
especially after I was colluding with Austin, and he said that he's going to take Mewtwo first, and then heard that I wanted Primal Kyogre and didn't want Mega Mewtwo, and decided to swap them to make sure that he got both. And I was like, I get it.
Guilty. Guilty.
Yeah, I know.
Me,
I know it was you and
me
AJ
and AJ told him to do that.
talking in the
What was it? Now
Discord.
I've told the story. I want to get it from the horse's mouth here. Did Colin like steal your pick? Like you were like hyping up Groudon, and he was like, "Hang on a
So
second, I want Groudon."
So it was, I was talking to Colin. He saw the board, and I was just like, "So what are you thinking?" And he said three 30 pointers. He said Eternatus, Marshadow, Xerneas.
Got it.
And I was just like, "Yeah, it's pretty likely you're gonna get one of them, right? Or guaranteed because he's
Right,
top
right, because
three."
he's top 3, so he guaranteed
Yep.
gets
So
one.
guaranteed he gets one of them. And I was just like, you know what? It's been a few seasons since I've done Sun. I've always wanted to play Flutter Mane. It's going to be a different Sun setter. We've got, I was going the ladder with Reshiram. We'll see here soon. His first three picks, those were like my core Sun team. And I was excited to draft it if it got to me. I didn't think Groudon, like, I could have seen Groudon going, but like, most people didn't want to play Sun.
Right.
Um, if it was in the first round, so I thought it was likely to get to me. But then after like 12 hours before the draft basically started, he was just like, this Groudon guy looks pretty cool. I was like, yeah, I mean, kind of does. And then yeah, the draft happened about 3 weeks before it was supposed to, and I think people were just excited to get going. And he picked Groudon, and I was like, yeah, it's okay, it's fine. And yeah, so
Yeah, he
it
made
was
my decision easier, and I was at work. I was pouring concrete when I saw that he had picked Groudon. I was like, okay, well, that basically wraps it up for me. Because I was one of the three. I was thinking Kyogre, Groudon, or Ho-Oh were my
mhm.
pick ones that I was in consideration of. Yeah, obviously the Groudon team was guaranteed to do what he was going to do. And then Kyogre, Austin's living the dream, picked Kyogre, Ferrothorn. Cool, cool core there. So fun stuff that. My draft was all right. I basically didn't realize until like Rayquaza that my team had no speed, and that I kind of had to lean into that a little bit more than I'm used to for sure. So it's gonna be a bit of a change up in pace for me, different kind of gameplay. Maybe bring some trick room some weeks. Probably never gonna bring sticky webs because I hate them. But you got to think about it, I guess. But
Bring your spinner or defogger or boots.
right, whatever. Who cares? It's just fucking
The one week
It's just
that you bring it.
it's just Galvantula, bro. Who gives a fuck? Should have taken somebody cool, like fucking
I don't know. I think the
Zergtree.
electric type will be nice in some of these weeks. Like
No,
Galvantula, no slouch. Like, come on.
he is a slouch.
I mean, he's the second fastest. I forgot you have Screamtail person on your squad. No,
He's a slouch. He doesn't take it all. Anywho, who cares? He's there to do that. Yeah, I got the only new move allowed. Last respects, only guy that drafted that. Bastille Legion went undrafted.
hmm
Not too surprised about that. Kind of an odd Pokemon. You mainly want on like a rain team, but you can't draft rain in this format, or at least you're really encouraged not to.
Helper
So
ass.
yeah, a little bit freaky there. So I got my little sand thing going on with that. It's like a little package. I got the couple trick room guys with Dialga and Screamtail. So we can do. So I got a couple of monsters. I mean, Melmetal is crazy. Ursulina Blood Moon's crazy in there. And I got a really good Scarf Pokemon, like Galarian Darmanitan. That's a Goat Scarfer. Same with Kartana, Rayquaza. These guys are all really, really good with the Scarf.
You can
So
even like if you don't bring Mega Tyranitar, you can 1,000,000% Scarf Houndstone as
right,
well.
yeah, yeah.
Like
He's not that fast. He's got like 68 base speed. He really wants that double. Scarf on that guy does not get you a lot of places. Um, but
But here's the good news, Zach.
I know.
Only two normal types
Yep.
in the league
I
other
know.
than your own.
I
You have
know. Yep.
three. You have
Yep.
the third
I
one.
prioritize the normal type. I really
I
liked
did too. I did too.
Ursulina. Yeah, obviously you did also. You've got one of the, even though the points are low, one of the better ones that I think was available. And then Keegan's got Blissey. But yeah, everybody else is legal on Houndstone. You know, I'm not convinced that freaking what's his face? Like, well, obviously he's got Blissey already, but like yeah, Veltal or Tinglu, how much they're really going to be taking from last respects. I mean, once you get up to like 300 base power,
Ting,
it is a crazy move.
Ting Lu will be okay. I was looking at some calcs earlier today. He'll be fine.
I imagined. It is with the Houndstone. But yeah, so he's cool. I like my team overall. I got a couple of options. I think. I hope I bring Zen mode this season on Darm.
That's the Ice Fire guy, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
He searches to Ice Fire
and then he goes even
instead.
faster.
Yeah, yeah. So if he so similar to like your Zygarde, how when he gets 50% HP, he doubles HP. This guy here, he's got 95 normally speed and 140 attack. He goes up to 160 attack and 135 speed, and also gains the fire type. So you can do stab, flare blitz, or whatever you want to do. Then, so that's kind of cool. I like what's going on with that. It's pretty
Nice.
sweet. Not a fighting type, by the way. But
Oops.
oops, indeed. But whatever. Okay, tell me a little bit about your team. What are your
All right.
little
Well,
thoughts?
as we were kind of talking about, didn't love the position I was in. I think I may do pretty well. Um, my thought process was take the best two Pokemon available, and Zygarde was definitely one of them. I think Magearna was probably not like the 11th best Pokemon or like the next best available on the board, but resisted basically all of Zygarde, or literally all of Zygarde's weaknesses with Ice, Dragon, and Fairy. So it seemed like a great pick at the time. Locked down my Dragon, Steel, Fairy core in 2 picks. I
Hmm.
mean, you'll see with the rest of my team. I pick two more of each of those types anyways. But I was, well, not very, I lied. But yeah, so I think that those two are a pretty good start. And then it got back to me. There's only a couple Pokemon I really wanted to play with. Pao was one of them. Thought he had a great speed tier. I think with dragons being so prevalent in this, Ice was just going to be a stab that not a lot of people wanted to switch into. And he's gonna smack pretty hard. And then same thing with Mega Salamence. Zygarde typically doesn't run a dragon move. So being able to have two dragons and having two different options of a physical dragon move. And then also something I was looking at, not a lot of people grabbed a flying resist stab. Like it's really only steel, not a whole bunch of electric types in here. Um, so
I've
that'll be nice.
yeah.
And then obviously Earthquake is his other coverage move for those steel types that come in anyways. Um, yeah, then we keep going down the list. Loved the turtle, Terapagos. I thought that was super underpriced at 10.
Yeah,
It'll
it
be a
is.
great
It's pretty egregious at
it'll be a
10.
great check for these Ubers that are like clicking fucking setup moves and then I resist something and then I can click like roar or something like
Yeah.
just to make sure that I don't die. Great at removing hazards, which my team is like mediocre into. It's pretty even. Um, Slowking was just a Pokemon I wanted for a while. Have a little bit of weather reset for these two Sun teams on the team as well. Otherwise, Teleport's probably going to be brought most of the time. Then somehow Zamazenta was there still on my freaking seventh pick. I think that's going to be a Pokemon I bring almost weekly.
Yep.
Oopsies.
Oh
Yep,
my.
that was my bad. And then yeah, then we got the classic. Oh yeah, it's back. I wanted a strong electric stab. Got that. Didn't have a fairy resist. Grab Iron Moth. Good speed tier. I noticed nobody had normal types. Fracture fit that bill, and then didn't have a whole bunch of hazard sets. So Ogerpon was kind of my last pick. So
Yeah.
I like my team. I was pretty disappointed at the beginning of the draft, but I think as it went through, I liked it more and more, and I think I just have a really solid squad. It might not have been the one that I was expecting, but I think that I'm going to be ready for anything on any given week. Um, but yeah,
Cool. All right. Yeah, I mean, I like your team. I think it's pretty sweet. Tropicos definitely should have been 10 points. That's my big
maybe like in the
takeaway.
15, like the 15 pointers.
Yeah. That
Like
guy's
that
that guy
guy
that guy's crazy town. That guy
offers a lot.
is crazy town. Um but yeah. Yeah, I mean rapid spin on a guy with multi skill is nutty. Nutty. How many ghosts are there here for I mean Giratina, so he's got a great one. AJ skipped it. Flutterman, but it's kind of frail, right? It's a little bit spooky as a spin blocker. Um, I've got Houndstone, mine's super fake. Golden Go, that's the goat of it, of course.
Hmm.
Lunala does it really well. Marshadow, I imagine, is going to do it pretty well. You got nothing on Jack's team. And,
Yeah, Annihilate is definitely a
oh,
spin blocker.
oh, I missed over. Yeah, Nilate's
One of the better ones,
a great,
you know.
a great spin blocker. Yeah,
With Golden Go up there with him.
yeah, and then, Dragapult on Austin's team.
So I think everybody has a pretty good ghost. Um, and
Not people that don't, and not me.
you have Houndstone. I
Yeah,
mean, like
that guy's not
maybe
that
not a
good.
like he can be defensive too. You'll bring him a lot.
You'd be wrong. You'd be
I
wrong. I don't expect to
I
bring this guy
guess
too much.
I guess I'm wrong.
That guy is 10 points. I think you're gonna want to just stay up top most of the time here, unless you got a
You know who else
crazy
is 10
matchup.
points?
Yeah. Well, some people are better than others.
Yeah.
It's a
I,
great.
I I agree with that. I feel like a lot of it, like I was getting towards the end of the draft and I was just like I'm grabbing these like 13, 14, 15 pointers and I'm like how often am I actually going to bring them?
I think
Right?
those guys
Like
are plenty good. And here's the other thing about this draft. It's you don't need roll compression. It's like I mean we all have half the draft has 12 Pokemon that are like pretty bringable most weeks,
mhm,
right? I mean, it's like Shedinja no, Sudowoodo Honchkrow no, but like the other three guys, their worst guy, I have Galvantula, that's okay. Uh, Jack has got, I mean, his worst is, Lycanroc Dusk, Alola Molar, Primarina. Those are all great. And then Mega Houndoom is just gonna be like a merchant in this Colin matchup. I imagine maybe you spike and like bring into Noah, thinking he'll do it also, but kind of sick, I think. So yeah, I
mhm.
mean, and then the 11s also. Those guys, when you have 11, it's like literally everything's bringable. And then Devin's team with 10, only got with 10, I think, right? Or no, Keegan has it. It's also all pretty
Egan and
bringable.
Devin both do.
Yep.
Yep. I
Um,
mean, you missed Orthworm, man.
yeah,
Like
it might be. Yeah, Orthrum's dog shit. That guy won't see the light of day all season. No chance. Don't believe it. That guy sucks.
maybe week 1. I'll see you there, AJ. But yeah, no, I'm with you. I think it's gonna be basically bring your Ubers every week, and then maybe one of these or two of these flex type Pokemon.
Yeah.
For sure.
So yeah,
But yeah,
that's cool. All right.
let's do these super controversial ratings that are definitely gonna be wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if we were pretty far off on these two.
Yeah, I mean this one's super hard to gauge. I really don't know at all.
Where do we want to
Let
type
me.
these up? You want
I,
to do the
I
draft and speed
yeah,
tiers,
it's
like
right.
next to draft order, and instead
That's
of
where
doing that, just
I usually put it in. Oh,
do
don't.
that
Whoa,
there.
whoa, whoa.
How can?
No,
Are we
that's fine.
serious?
I'm just not. I'm fucking around.
Oh, ROM. There we go. Okay. So, who do we got at 10, Zach?
I have myself.
Yo. All right, I'll talk about you. I have you at 8. So I'll. Oh, we're missing
Missing
9
9.
somehow.
You have Devin's team. Okay, hold on. Stop going over there. Look at where your name is. Don't fucking type it over there again. I'm gonna freak out. Ryan. Whew. You're gonna get me. You're gonna get me
Got
there,
ya.
guy. I have Devin at 9 for what it's worth. So we can talk about Devin first.
Okay.
What's wrong with Devin's team? Nothing. I don't think there's anything that much wrong with it,
I
honestly.
agree. I think his speed tiers are lackluster. I think is like the main reason. I mean, we're about to get to you, which is I have you at 8, but I just don't see his team working.
Well together?
Like, there's not a synergy. You know what I mean? Like, what is this Tyranitar doing here?
I
Was
don't
it
know.
just for like a defensive rock or not defensive dark type?
Probably.
I mean, Tyranitar is a beast. I'm not gonna deny that, but yeah, I don't know. I think Lunala seemed to me like not the greatest with all these pursuit Pokemon in the game.
So,
Like
is there, like, I didn't draft Alakazam because of that, but that guy's
every
mega.
team every team has a pursuit Pokemon
Who's
because I
got
was like
Pursuit on Keegan's team?
Deoxys. All right, Deoxys attack does because I was looking at this because I was thinking of the 20-point Lunala. I can't think like Necrozma
Yeah,
Duskwing or
yep,
whatever.
yep, yep.
I was thinking of that. But yeah, Deoxys attack does that'll absolutely destroy. I know there was. I was pretty confident there was one on AG's team. Maybe I'm
Unconvinced.
wrong.
Um,
Um, I'll fucking pull it up. But I knew majority of teams, not every team, but majority of teams had like a pursuit Pokemon. Dark was very common. A lot of people had offensive ghosts. Lunala's speed tier is not that great. I just I don't love it in that way where it's like supposed to be this Bulkymon but has quad weak to 2 common offensive types. And that was like one of his first picks. It's
for what?
still going to be awesome. I still
Right.
think he should bring it every week, but like
He's got like
I
a
don't know.
pretty goat dark resist in well anyway I guess for pursuit obviously it doesn't work but
Yeah, you have T-Tar,
no
right?
I was gonna say like Xerneas
Oh, that's true as well. Yeah.
Xerneas is crazy obviously it doesn't work against the pursuits but all the other dark moves out there you're gonna be really happy to come in on as that so yeah I mean I really don't think his team's that bad I don't think any of these
No,
teams are
no team is bad, right?
no teams
But
are
it's just
bad.
like we got to figure it out. I just don't think his team gels together. You know what I mean? Like I don't see the vision, and that was
What do you like about his team?
what do I like about his team? I still think he went top heavy, right? Like I think he has 9 very bringable Pokemon and a Rabombi to like kind of try to fix his speed tiers,
Yep,
but I think Rabombi's really fake. I'd rather just bring my 9 other Pokemon almost every week.
I think so.
Like he could bring his top 6 minus Rabombi every week and I think be fine. Right? Like those 6 Pokemon are scary and really good. So that's my favorite thing about it is that I think he crunched the numbers really well. I think having 10 Pokemon with 200 points just means that his team is overall strong, and
Yeah,
he won't have to worry about like,
your each guy
um,
quality is going to be
yep,
a couple points better than
yep.
these guys that went to 12 or whatever. So
And I think that is probably why his team doesn't seem to like gel well together because he kind of just went super best
right,
pick available.
right, yeah, you have
Um,
like less synergies, right? Like if you just take Houndstone off the team, that's like I lose a synergy, or I don't know, I can't think of any other examples. I obviously know my own team well. Or like
you,
Samrock Golden Go, right? That's like another two Pokemon package on Noah's team. I think there's going to be stuff like that all across the board here, where
mhm.
you just get a couple guys on your team because you just have so many picks that you can kind of make these little package things, and it can maybe look a little better on paper than
I
what
mean,
it
he
actually is.
has two of some of the best Pokemon that we've played in draft with Zapdos and Garchomp.
Yep.
Obviously, he has three awesome Megas to go along with that too. But like those two guys are very versatile. Zapdos is going to be awesome. Still, like I have no I think his team is good, right? Like it sucks saying that the worst team is a good team,
Right.
but that's just how we have 200 points and a big board, so it's gonna be easy to have a good team.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay, we can talk about your team next. You talked about it a little bit, so I'll jump in. Your team's just slow, right? Like I think you lied or relied really on this going into this trick room, which I don't think is awful, but like when people are kind of expecting trick room, it's like people are going to be able to invest in bulk on their faster Pokemon, and I just don't see like I feel like speed is really important, and you just don't have it. Obviously, you have like you can scarf people too. That's what's his face said. I can't Mark. Which one was it? Mark, right?
Yeah, that's Jimmy's brother-in-law. Yeah.
Yep, the guy that had no no no,
Oh,
no not the bird guy.
you're talking about
Um,
yikes.
I can't think of his name.
Keep talking.
You know who I'm talking about, right? Like he had the fastest Pokemon was regular Calyrex at like 80, and he's just like, Choice
Jackson.
Scarf exists. Thank you, Jackson. And that's like, I don't want to. Your team is obviously so much better than his because you didn't pick troll Pokemon. They just happen to all be slow. Um, but no, again, I still think it's good. I think Mega T-Tar and Houndstone. I think you can bring Houndstone more than you think.
I maybe
Is
I
going to be
can, but
nice.
I'm certainly not gonna try it.
That's fair. I think having there's not a whole there's like zero normal types. I think it'll smack. Um, I mean you got a lot of good Pokemon. Blood Moon, Tapu Fini, Omega T-Tar I think was really good at 9 points for Omega.
Yep.
Dialga and Ho-Oh, like Ho-Oh is gonna be great. I kind of wished you went with another Regenerator right away. I thought like if you got another one of the slow bros, like especially if you're kind of leaning into this Trick Room agenda, that seemed really good
I was
with
gonna
your
go
team.
if I could like get Glow King a little bit later, I would have gotten him. Um, but I didn't like that they all shared an electric weakness otherwise, which is
That's fair.
obviously electric, not that common of a type here in our league. Something
Mhm.
I didn't know at the time for what it's worth, but a little awkward there having your two regenerator Pokemon that want to kind of go in and out and cover each other be weak to the same type. So
That's fair. I get that then.
tough on that way.
Because right, Glow King is neutral because
Yeah.
it's not water type. That's
Hmm.
right. Um, but yeah. So again, I don't think your team is bad. I think you're just gonna have a harder time to win with your team. You're gonna have to play better, which you're obviously a good player. Um, but I think it'll be tougher than some of the other teams above.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, Ho forces a lot of progress, even though he's slow. Um, right. I mean, because most things don't want to be taking Sacred Fire. There's a lot of Pokemon. Half the Pokemon in the draft are physical attackers. Getting burnt neuters them, so only certain things can switch into Ho-Oh. So I kind of get the position around that. Obviously, we start getting. My team's gonna have a lot of 50-50s. I think something I'm not
Mhm.
super fond of, but something I can deal with, and I'm gonna live and die by the double here. I think this season. So we'll see what happens. Other than that, I'm gonna talk about my team a little bit here. You're stealing all my spotlight. So jokes, jokes. Melmetal. He's the coolest guy in the draft. I just want to let everybody know that right off the bat here. This guy's sick. Okay. He looks cool. He's a big guy with hands that are metal and magnets. I don't know. He's sweet. I've wanted this Pokemon
Hey,
forever. I love this
he's
guy.
pretty good into this Calyrex Ice guy. That was like the
Right,
second pick
right.
overall.
Uh, that's what AJ keeps telling me, but we'll see about it. Unsure, unsure. Could be something else. I did start the draft by saying I wanted Ho-Oh and Melmetal. Those were the two guys going into the
Mhm.
draft that I was like, okay, like last draft was like I wanted Mamoswine and like Tangrowth as my two guys that I super duper wanted. So we're just gonna keep doing that. Just start the guys you want. They're cool. I also got Kartana, another Pokemon I got a big boner for. That guy's sweet as fuck. I kind of randied Tapu Fini. That was supposed to be a Great Tusk pick, and then I was like, yo, these fairies are popping off the board, and uh, and a couple of I wanted one of the better waters also. I think it might be like one of the best, I would say, if not the on the whole agenda here. I mean, you got
For
like
for bulky waters, I
yeah,
agree.
yeah,
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 like
yeah, yeah.
water fairy typing is,
It's
you're gonna have a great time
it's a go
in
go
your sun
typing.
weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that'll be sweet there. And then you also got I got like Rayquaza super late. I thought he's kind of a crazy
Yeah,
motherfucker.
I can't believe you lasted to the fifth round.
I know everybody had was talking so big about taking Rayquaza early, and then he just kept
And nobody
hanging
did. Yeah,
around, and
like
then I was like, all right, I'll do
he's
it. Screw it,
he's good.
whatever.
He's really good. So I think that was one of the steals of the draft for sure. Um, but yeah,
Yep.
I'll stop interrupting.
No, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, my Pokemon are sick. Fuck your speed. I'm just gonna beat ya.
Yeah,
Suck it.
I'm with you. Your team is something it's definitely gonna be hard to prep for, right? Because like yeah, maybe you're not gonna outspeed us, but you're gonna fucking do a fuck ton of damage, and you're gonna be hard to kill.
Hmm.
So
All right, who do you got at 9?
I have Austin.
Okay, I have Austin at 8. So
Damn,
so far we're doing pretty good here.
we are doing pretty good.
Austin,
Um, I'll
Austin's
give you a
team.
break because you just talked.
Take it,
Where
take
is
it.
Austin's team? I
Green.
thought he did fine. Again, all these teams are good. I'm gonna preface with that one more time,
Don't
because I
do it
feel like you
again.
said it 10 times.
Say
Yep,
it
you
again,
said
I'm
it a
gonna
lot.
freak out.
This guy fucking took my Primal Kyogre. I think he might have had the two strongest picks in the first round next to Ian, I'd say.
You think his 1-2 is that good?
I really do. I think they're both so strong offensively. They complement each other well. And like one's a super big special attacker, one's a super big physical attacker. You have a great speed tier with Mega Mewtwo. You have weather control under the Suns teams with Primal Kyogre. He grabbed Ferrothorn at 3. Like I think his first few picks were fantastic, and then kind of got derailed a little bit from there.
Well, he really
Like
threw the end
I
of his draft. Like that was crazy.
yeah, yeah,
But
I'm
anyway,
with you. I don't even care about the last two, right? Because instead of those, you'll grab a 7 pointer or
right,
whatever, right?
right.
And that's not gonna help too much. So I'm gonna try to just ignore that. But
I'm not.
the Tapu Lele, I liked when he said he was gonna grab it. I thought he might grab more things that would help with psychic terrain, or like I was looking at his team, doesn't really need the prior like the negative or the priority
Yeah.
cancellation.
No, I no,
So like I think it's still
I
just
think
a good
he
Pokemon.
likes it. No, I mean he's got one of the fastest teams here. I mean, I think he super likes it, right? I mean, most of his Pokemon are
I think it'll help Dragapult a lot. Um,
Dragapult. I mean, Mewtwo likes it a lot. Sneasler, I've played with Sneasler. Sneasler likes it a lot. I mean, Sneasler's the fast Pokemon in the draft, for what it's worth, with Unburden.
that's true
So,
with the psychic terrain. So
yeah. He can easy. Yeah, there you go. I mean, there's another good way, right? He easy procs Sneasler and gets a guaranteed. Even if you do have a Ghost type, you can always run Psychic Seed on it and get that going there. So that's kind of sweet.
yeah,
I
I just thought his last four picks, so I guess two, not including the Honchkrow Sudowoodo. I didn't feel the need for a Cinderace. Like it's still a good Pokemon. It just didn't seem to fit his team very much, especially when you're probably bringing Ferrothorn every week
right.
and
Yeah.
setting up hazards.
Yeah.
That was kind of like
I agree
my
with
like
that.
question mark on there. Um,
His team doesn't lean
but
into hazards super hard. Otherwise, I would say Ferrothorn is a Pokemon that really wants to be running Spikes or Stealth Rock, just because you don't have that many
mhm,
moves to click. You want to click Leech Seed, maybe Power Whip if you're nuts, or like maybe Gyro Ball if you're nuts. But I think a lot of the times you're just gonna be clicking like Leech Seed, Spikes. I don't even know other fucking moves this the guy knows honestly, but
mhm.
moves that are not Knock would be another good one. Yeah, I mean this guy makes a lot of progress. Maybe T Wave or Toxic also could be good ones. Makes a lot of progress coming in on stuff that it takes 0 damage from, and either puts up a spike or clicks a leech seed. So kind of awkward. I agree with the Cinderace with the court change, but also Austin likes soccer, of course, and this is the soccer Pokemon. So I think it might
That's
be
awesome.
it might not be that deep, right? It might just be
Yeah, true. And he needed a fire type too, right? Like,
yep,
and Cinderace is pretty fast. Um, like 119 is a pretty good speed tier. Uh, I guess he already has 120 with Sneasler, but
right.
like you're doubling your speed for that, so like it's basically your 120.
hmm
Um,
Something
yeah,
I
no, I
do like a lot that I'm just kind of noticing here. I think Primal Kyogre is like a crazy bulky guy, right? I think a lot of the
mhm.
ways you're gonna want to get through this guy is gonna be toxic. He does have the Guizing. He can turn off toxics with that, so that could be kind of cool. Obviously, it's a little bit conflicting there. Lele is probably it's his best. It's his better fairy of the two, um, which helps in different situations. But if you're expecting status spam out of your opponents here, maybe to take down some of your big guys, definitely the Misty Terrain via Guizing could be kind of nice.
I think Lando was a good pick too because you're gonna want to be clicking either electric um or grass moves.
hmm
So to have somebody who's immune to electric and then neutral into grass because most of the time ground is super effective into grass. I think that was a good pick, especially with Lando T being gone. Um, and then obviously also just a fucking offensive menace. That was going to be the one thing I was going to comment on his team was it seemed to me every Pokemon's offensive
Yeah, big switch
except
up.
for like Ferrothorn.
Yep.
He's not very often doing those types of things. Like, Primal Kyogre's got bulk. Tapu Lele can also go a little bit more defensive too. Guizing obviously as well, but like I don't think Guizing will show up most weeks. Primal Kyogre, you're not gonna be like, I'm gonna switch this guy in because he's like your best Pokemon and you want to be clicking powerful water moves
hmm
in your heavy rain. So I think that's going to be one thing that is going to be difficult for Austin this season is kind of navigating a more offensive team,
Yeah, it's super new. It's
with
super new for him.
with not a whole bunch of defensive options other than Ferrothorn. And I can see Ferrothorn being somebody that just kind of dies right away. Um, if you
I don't
keep
think you
on
know about
using it,
Ferrothorn's game,
dude,
honestly.
I know it's really annoying,
I don't
but
think you know
like
about Ferrothorn's
if
game.
if I'm Austin, I'm like, oh, I need to switch into a defensive Pokemon. I'm gonna do Ferrothorn here, and I feel like that's easy to predict. But I now we're talking about the people, not the team anymore. So I'm
Right,
gonna stop
right.
talking. But
Yeah, I think you're not giving Ferrothorn enough credit. This guy's a
dude, he's
certified
a
freak
beast.
show.
I know, I know.
Monster UBERS Pokemon. Nah, he's crazy, bro. He's crazy. We'll see. Ferrothorn might be the goat of the whole league here. I'm unsure.
He shuts down physical attackers, right? Like that guy is gonna be not fun to play against if you are a physical attacker, unless you have a fire move.
Yeah, I have. Keep talking for a second.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Much I don't know much more about Austin's team. I'm excited. Obviously, I think Sudowoodo and Honchkrow are both going to come at some point if you drafted them.
I'm
When,
I'm good.
why, how? These are all
Yeah,
questions
I don't know.
I would love
Him and
to
Sam were
know.
way too excited about Sudowoodo and Honchkrow. These things both suck, and you're not gonna bring them,
Okay,
guys. All right. No,
Honchkrow
don't tell me about its sniper ability
in
or
a
whatever.
non-Uber league
Guess what
is a
though?
Pokemon that is interesting.
We
Yes,
are
I
in
know it's an Uber
Ubers.
league. I know it's an Uber league, but he's gonna bring it. It's a cool mon.
He can bring it all he
It's
wants. That thing sucks
obviously
ass.
I don't think it's it doesn't have sniper, right? But it is the
Oh,
other
it's
crit,
got super
the
luck.
crit
Whatever,
thing.
same difference.
Because I don't think it does extra damage. You just have an extra more crit chance. Sniper is more damage, right? Right, Ryan?
I thought no,
You're not
Summer's.
stupid.
I don't know anymore. You're
It
talking.
is. Sniper does more damage. Super luck is higher crit chance.
Okay, well, fair enough.
But,
Whatever.
but
I don't care. Who do you got next here at 7?
I have Noah.
I also have Noah.
We're nuts. Let's go.
We're doing good
Let's
so far.
go.
We're doing good so far.
I'll let you
Noah's
talk first.
team. Yeah. So Noah's team. I'll preface with this. Noah, I don't think you can hear me, but for the love of God, just do the thing. All right. Just if you're gonna bring Samurott, Just click the fucking spike. So I think it might be a little better in this league though, because he's not. It's not like his best Pokemon, like it was on my team, right? Or like one of my best Pokemon. So maybe you're not expecting it every week like you would be against me. I was so afraid that everybody was just gonna like anti-lead me and just bring something insane that beats up on Samurott every week. So I was just too afraid to do the thing most of the time. But I hope he just does the thing. Other than that, everybody's been shit talking this Lugia. I don't really, I'm not of the
Who?
same opinion. Who? I don't know. Everybody that it like doesn't fit at all.
Oh man, I think Lugia is one of my favorite picks that he had. Like
Okay,
I,
God bless. We're on the same page. I think Lugia is freaky, for sure. I think it's fun that he brought or that he drafted Ninetales at 4 for Gouging Fire Tusk and like Blaziken
hmm
kind of.
hmm
That's kind of sweet. I think. Don't know how often that's gonna come together. Probably not much at
I
all.
feel like if you're a Fire Weak team, right? Like in my team last season that had
Right.
one resist.
I don't know if anybody
Um,
has that this season, but if they happen to,
yeah,
I'm
because
not.
everybody's got a fucking dragon.
Right.
So
Yeah. So you're probably not that weak to that, but yeah. I mean, I think Zacian is probably one of the crazier Pokemon in the draft. That thing is premium button clicker. This is actually my front runner for MVP of the league.
yeah, I mean this thing
Is
is
my
gonna come
guess.
in, click play rough, and it has Sacred Sword. I'm assuming, right? I didn't look at it
I think you
too
mainly just
much.
click close combat with this guy. I don't actually know. Um,
I mean, you're +1 with like the best speed, one of the best speed tiers
he does get
in the
sacred.
game.
He does get sacred sword, but I think this
Yeah,
thing normally runs close combat. But
that makes
it,
sense.
it is kind of a setup league, though. So maybe Sacred Sword is going to have little bit more value than not into all the garbage that people are going to bring.
hmm
Yeah, I think his team is sweet. He got Deoxys super late, which is nice, as well as Clefable. Clefable, not quite the number one GOAT All-Star Fairy that it normally is in our like OU leagues, but I would be willing to bet that it's pretty good here. Obviously, Unaware is going to be a really good ability into what we keep saying is going to be a offensively dominated like setup sort of league here, where a lot of the big threats are not just button clickers that make progress. A lot of them are setup threats in which Clefable is going to have a good time, kind of being doing what it does and just sitting there and not taking the boosted damage because of its ability, of course. So I think that's pretty sweet. I'm excited to see Mega Blaziken. I think Blaziken was kind of cool for AJ last season. Did a lot of good stuff. He thought it didn't have enough move slots. We're gonna see how Noah feels about that. That's interesting. Only second guy to draft a speed boosting Blaziken, so that's pretty cool. Shedinja's fake. Don't worry about that at all. That thing won't get brought, and even if it does, there's like 1,000 different moves you can bring to kill it. So who cares? I play Noah week one also,
Oh,
but
nice.
yeah, I'm gonna kick his ass. No worries there.
I believe it. Um, yeah, Noah's team. I think you touched on a lot of the parts that I was gonna say as well. I was texting him and I was just like, "Yo, did like Colin snipe your Groudon?" Because like he immediately went for this gouging fire, Great Tusk, Mega Blaziken, and these are like all Pokemon that are obviously really good in the sun.
Right.
I if I were the Sun team, Mega Blaziken was going to be like my fourth pick. I Blaziken, one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. He's
Right.
gonna be scary in the sun. But yeah, I'm excited because obviously like we helped AJ prep a lot, and I'm in agreement where it felt necessary to have more than 4 moves, and I think that's gonna only be amplified more
I
in an
think
Ubers league.
Blaziken versus Mega, maybe Mega Blaziken. Let me see here. Yeah, I mean Mega Blaziken does get 40 more attack and 20 more special attack, so maybe you're not feeling so priced into a
I
boosting
feel like you
move.
still need a Swords Dance though.
God,
Like
really?
40 more attack, and then
100,
you
160
would.
attack is super high, Ryan. I feel like
I know,
you're.
but we're talking about an Ubers league now, Zach, where like every Pokemon has like 600 base stats or more.
I don't think
That's
you
gonna be
realize
brought.
how high 160 attack
I
is.
know 160 attack is high, but 120 attack was high, and we're looking at those calcs, and especially the non-stab calcs, into these like mediocre, and it's just like, man, this Earthquake's not even 2-hit KOing this random Steel type.
Yeah,
Like what?
that could
You know,
be.
but I don't know why I said steel type because obviously you have a fire move for those. But you're catching my drift, right? So, um, I'm excited to see that. Yeah, similar to Devon's, I think he just has
Yeah, I agree. His team.
Pokemon that don't like work like he has like three different types of Pokemon, right? Like just your big boys that are gonna be fucking smacking. You've got like a weird fire squad, and then Hisuian Samurott and Golden Go. I don't think Clefable's gonna be that good. I don't think its stats are high enough, even if these Ubers are setting up. I think that it's just gonna die in 2 hits. If you like ever try to switch into it, obviously who is the I can't think of the guy's name in the BBL. He had Clefable and made it work a couple times, but
Okay,
it seemed a little bit too low in stats
sure.
with the unaware, where a potential coverage move with any sort of boosting item on most of these Ubers is going to two-shot it anyway, where it doesn't seem like a super safe switch. Um,
Here's my thing. I mean, obviously the Ubers have got a lot more stats, but I mean this thing's stats look pretty bad in our OU leagues. You know what I mean? But like,
mhm.
I mean they look really really bad. And then if I'm just going and I'm looking at some OU Pokemon here versus, I mean, a lot of their attacks, man, they're not that much lower. I'm unconvinced. Clefable might be insane.
Okay. I mean, I think the Pokemon's always been great.
Right.
But it was just one of those things where I felt like being in an Ubers league, it
Yeah, I don't
felt
think it's gonna be
a
an
little bit
all-star.
worse.
I don't think it's gonna be an
Yeah.
all-star anymore, like it is in every other season.
Mhm.
But I definitely think it'll be pretty good. It's also right. I mean, it is also his second fairy, second to
Mhm.
Zacian, which is like the best fairy in the league. Like one
Xerneas.
at least one of the couple best. Sure, okay, so number two, whatever, right? I mean, it's right there, and it's got a bit
Yeah.
of a different agenda than Xerneas. So it's a crazy motherfucker Pokemon. So yeah, double fairy might be tough on some weeks, but overall, I like Noah's team a good bit. What does the speed tiers look like here? Obviously, Deoxys keeps him fast. Zacian speed is really
Yeah.
good. He
I think
does,
150 and 138 is nice,
yeah,
but Lugia is not going to be running speed,
most
and
of
I
the time,
do
yeah.
think, yeah, Thunderous Therian probably is not going to show up most weeks.
Right.
So it'll be like these super top heavy ones, and then you've got a big break until these
hmm
like this 100 for Mega Blaziken, 91, 87. So I'd say it's like,
Obviously, but it's gonna speed boost, so it's gonna get a little bit more up
yeah,
than that. But
I'd
yeah,
say it's top heavy and then pretty slow. Is kind of
hmm
my thought process.
I'm with you. I'm with you. You're talking sense. Okay, six. What do you got?
I have Jack.
Me too.
Like
Now,
okay,
now,
like
now,
I
now,
wasn't
did
even I wasn't even trying
I
to be
I
like
put him
Jack
there
in
before I
sixth
put
place.
anybody else there, honestly, on
I
the
know
whole
that's
rest of the
you.
board.
I know that's your thought
Six.
process, but I was like really I was looking at all these teams, and then I Noah and Jack were pretty close, I would say in my opinion. Um, here's my thing about Jack's team. I think he was also very close to having the best two Pokemon, like in the first 2 rounds, right? I think it was between Austin, Jack, and Ian, which makes sense because they were the ones that got the 30 pointers. Or I guess not Austin, but the two of Jack and Ian got the 30 pointers, and then another great Pokemon along with it.
hmm
Um, like high 27, 28s. And I think Eternatus, Mewtwo, fucking crazy.
Jack has got
And then
like
the rest of his team
I'm looking.
doesn't seem like an Uber's team.
No, right,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
It's all OU Pokemon. Now,
Yeah.
granted, a lot of them are nuts. King Gambit,
They're all
crazy. Alomomola, crazy. Like these guys are all
Meow. I think Meow's great. Lando T is great too.
right.
Like, I think Annihilate is like one of the type of Pokemon again that's gonna suffer from like these Ubers having higher bulk and higher base stats. Where like Annihilate wants to get hit by things, and there's gonna be less Pokemon where it's like I want to take a hit from this.
That's true.
And I think that's gonna be Annihilate's issue.
You're
And then
gonna
he
need to
kind
run
of
more
like
key berries, I guess. I mean, that's the only
he,
solution, I suppose.
yeah, I don't know, but like it seems like the type of Pokemon where like he kind of I don't want to say he built around it, but like after the first 4 picks, it seemed like he did. Um, with like this hazard setup. Well, hazard setup's always just nice. I like Glamora. I think Glamora is super cool. But like you went Annihilate, Rillaboom, Alomomola, like basically back to back to back. Um,
Man,
so
I wanted Rillaboom so bad.
yeah,
Oh,
I
I
think I
wanted Rillaboom so
again
bad.
team's good, but it seems less like an Uber team
I
if you look past his first two
Here's what I'm gonna
picks,
tell
and
you.
more of an OU team.
I don't know if other Ubers function this way. I'm sure they all do. I've been watching Jack Ladder a little bit, and I'll tell you something for free. If you click Agility with Eternatus on the Uber's ladder on Showdown, you actually instantly win the game, is how that Pokemon works. If you get that Agility off, there is no counterplay, and you
Unless you have a fairy
instantly
steel type.
win the game. A Fairy Steel type?
Yep.
Okay, so
Or
what you're telling me is Magirna
yep,
is the
the
difference
only one in our
maker.
draft. Yep. I had post you going to bed when we found each other on the ladder.
Mhm.
Jack and I played against each other,
Did you?
and yep, not on the ladder. We just
Oh,
challenged each
okay,
other.
okay.
No, number one, Xian Pao actually ran through his entire team. He was unable to click agility on Eternatus.
I believe you.
And Xian Pao just fucked.
Right.
But obviously he has Alola Mola and Primarina. Specifically, Primarina is going to be a great bring into me because you resist my two stabs and I don't have too much coverage moves, other than a fighting type, which again is not going to do anything to Primarina. So, but that was already talked about. Like Primarina just seems pretty good into my
Yeah.
team,
Yeah.
or
Prim's
into
good.
Chien Pao, who counters the rest of his team.
Right. Yeah. Obviously, the two types resist
But yeah, no, he's
the
got
dual stabs.
probably the best Pokemon, and he got it at 8. Right? Like we were all kind of talking about how Eternatus was probably the best, but kind of cringe. And I was also gonna be the type of person that said if it got to me, obviously I was gonna take this Super Ubermon.
I'll go on the record and say I
And
would never take it.
oh
I'm a
yeah,
man of culture.
okay, you're a man of culture. I'm a man of winning,
Yeah.
or trying to win at least. But yeah, again, I think just closer to an OU team past its first two picks that doesn't seem terribly scary, but really deep, right? Like that's the other thing.
Yeah. Yeah. His
I
team is
think
super deep.
I think some of these other teams, like you'll even like look and be like, yeah, you're like, maybe I'm probably not going to bring this Mega Tyranitar and Houndstone too much, right?
I think
But
Mega
for
Tyranitar
Jack,
is good.
I think he has 12 Pokemon that are bringable and good almost every single week.
I
So
agree.
that'll be pretty hard to prep for,
Gonna be
because he
hard to
can
prep.
he can be, yeah,
Gonna be hard to prep. That's gonna be the other thing with this. Everybody's got these super deep teams hard to prep for. You gotta find what six are the best too, man. He's gotta cut half his team every week. That's
that's true. That is
crazy.
going to be hard. That is going to be hard. He's going to have a lot of work ahead of him.
Yeah, that shit is crazy town. Uh, Closing remarks about Jack's team here. Um, it's all right, AJ. Don't worry about it, gangster. He just got back to me about doing the pod. Uh,
Have him join midway.
no, he said he's all right. Anyways, that's all right. That's not his vibe. Okay, he does not like
He,
talking to us about this.
did he ever
Anywho,
do one? I
yeah,
forgot.
he did one with us. Anywho, Jack's team here, he is twerking on it, as the kids say. On Ian's team, I mean, on all his
Oh,
past
I
teams,
didn't even I didn't even say
right? I
that.
mean,
Yeah, like
he's got the two apes here. He's got Lando T. He's got King Gambit,
YOLO.
which is just Bisharp growing
He's
up.
got a Loma Mola,
Mola. I mean,
the water fairy type.
Jack's gross. Jack's a gross guy. He loves riding it. And he also, I like that he keeps true to his word and drafts Pokemon he's drafted. I think this is his new record here. He's got 3 of his previously drafted Pokemon on his team.
I was gonna say I love how he picked Meow and Lycanroc. I think
Hmm.
both of those
He's got
are
8.
very much, yeah, very much Jack Pokemon, and I think he did really good with those too on his previous
They
teams.
were the
Meow,
MVPs for both seasons, actually.
were they
They
actually?
were
Well, there we
both
go.
the
That
MVPs.
that makes sense. So, Lycanroc Dusk was one of the Pokemon I was kind of thinking of, but I already had an Ice Shard, which I felt like covered a lot of what a Celerac did.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, I like his team. His team's good. I like it's just deep. I'll
I
stop talking.
I agree. I agree. All right, 5 ski.
AJ.
What you got? You got AJ. Ooh, we got a big switch up here. I got you.
Okay, okay.
Let's
What
talk
do
about
do?
let's skip one here. Who do you got next?
I have Keegan.
I also have Keegan. So we'll talk
Okay.
about maybe Keeg first. Keegan's team here. All right, number one pick of the draft. Obviously, the reigning champion. Big come ups to Keeg, big props across the board. He was slotted at, I believe, 5 or 6 with the random roll. And of course, in the spot where you gotta be when you win. Go up number one here and listen to what everybody else wants at one, and then take it, because everybody else knows what they're talking about. Here he is, Evil Tall, Yveltal, whatever you like to say. I don't know. This guy's got 100 ways to pronounce his name, but either way, he's fucking good as shit. This Pokemon
Yeah.
is Crazy Town. You know more about him than I do, because you were hoping to God he got to you at 10 somehow. Obviously, that was never going to happen. But tell me about
Well,
this
I was
Pokemon.
I was again I was thinking of trading up and grabbing either Yveltal or Marshadow with Colin. Was some of the discussions that we were having that
Sure.
obviously didn't happen. Yeah, this guy is just a beast. Um, he's clicking knockoff almost every single week, and even your resisted Pokemon, if they're holding an item, it's gonna do a lot of damage. He's got a really good speed tier with Taunt. You can lead it. You got U-turn. You got Roost. You got deep. Like it's just a great offense. You can be offensive. You can be defensive. You can be anything. And Dark Flying, I think, is a super good type to have as well. And looking at the rest of his team, I think he got rid of the weaknesses pretty well too. So yeah, I like Keegan's team a lot. I think towards the end of the draft, I didn't like it as much, but um, like Giratina, Yveltal, Deoxys Attack, Iron Valiant, how do you say this? Nagel Dull, like Pokemon.
Naganadel.
Yeah, he's got great speed tiers. I think that's another good thing. Like hitting the 150s, is super nice. And then the second fastest dragon in the league, super nice. Um, I think the only thing is he doesn't have like Yveltal really wish he was at 100 base speed because there's a good amount of 100 base speeders in this draft. Um,
Yeah.
is there? I lied. There's not. I'm actually looking at a lot of them. There's not.
Victini. I'm going to do a head count here. I'm interested. Mega Blaziken, 9 tails. That's almost like those don't even count.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. It doesn't.
Zapdos. You got
So makes it even better because
four,
there's
and
like
two of
four.
them are
Yeah,
fake.
yeah, four and two of them are fake.
99 really doesn't matter that much.
Yeah,
It looks like.
I'm with you. There's a couple like 101s.
Right, but
But again, if you're not 100, don't fucking matter.
right.
So yeah, I mean he's got a really good team. I think Mega Blastoise as well, which is like, oh, I'm only base 78. That's clicking Shell Smash.
Mhm.
You're bulky enough to do so, and that's going to be pretty hard to deal with. So yeah, I don't know. There's not a lot that I dislike about his team. I think I just looked at it and I said there are three more that I like more.
Gotcha. I am a Mega Blastoise hater.
Oh, okay.
Maybe rather I'm unconvinced about it yet. I no, rather here. I do hate it currently. I think it's a chump. I'm gonna need to be proven wrong.
I
Fair to
gotta look at this
say.
guy's stats again, because is he not just like?
No, he is crazy. He was a banned mega in our last draft. He is a crazy motherfucker. Um, but
Because what are these launching moves? He has Aura Sphere. He has Water Pulse, right? He probably has Dark Pulse. Yep, he has Dark Pulse. He's got all the Pulse moves, Zach. Did you not see this fucking
I
shitter Clawitzer
I know
like
about what he
actually
does,
hit
Ryan.
hard? And now
Ryan.
this guy's gonna be shell smashed up with bulk? I don't know.
I know
That guy's
about this
scary.
guy. I mean, you're
Yeah.
acting like I don't know about him. I do know about him. I just think he's a chump. That's
Okay.
all. That's all I'm
I don't know if you're
saying.
like egging him on right now for your matchup because you have like a huge big dick answer, but
No,
yeah.
I'm just unconvinced about this Pokemon. I just need to see it happen. That's about it. Whatever. Ignore me. Deoxys Attack, that guy's crazy. Giratina is
Hmm.
crazy. He's got a couple of Pokemon that are gonna be hard to kill. Alright, he's got Mamoswine, that's my goat. He's got Blissey. This thing apparently walls uh, Shadow Rider, according to Austin. So if he rolls that guy, it's falling any other special attack in the league. Same as always. Can't click Wish and Teleport still. You know that well.
What a
Uh,
tragedy.
Keegan asked me if it's banned. I said, well, it's not really banned, but more of a it doesn't work
I
because
you can't make a team with it.
correct. But yeah, I mean he's got great Pokemon. I think it's cool to have. Same thing here with Noah's team. I don't know if anybody else has any pros in this Pokemon slash if anybody else has any Quark Drive Pokemon outside of a couple of guys here. I think it's fun to have Iron Valiant when you're gonna play against like Ian, where he's super incentivized to bring Coco, right, and set up
Mm.
the terrain, right. That's like what his team kind of revolves around. Where you're gonna kind of get to have your cake and eat it too with Valiant. It's gonna get like it's pseudo 2 items. It's gonna get the free booster every time it comes in on the terrain, as well as you can run your life orb or you can run a choice item, whatever you want to do, and kind of go absolutely nuclear. Same thing with Gouging Fire and Great Tusk in the Sun against Collins' team. Could be cool. Or I don't know if anybody else has anything. Yeah, you have Iron Moth into
Mhm.
into
I think that's it. I
Ian
think those
also.
are like literally the only two other iron
Ooh,
Pokemon.
I got Screamtail, Goat. Uh, Check out my sick. I don't know, fucking defense raise Screamtail into Colin or whatever. Yeah, I mean, so Keegan's team here. Ogerpon Hearthflame is sweet. I'm glad that we finally are getting to see some Ogerpons again. Obviously, it wasn't that one person got 4 of them, but 3 of them still got drafted. I think that was super cool. You obviously have
That is
one.
nice. Yeah.
AJ's got one, and Keegan's got one here.
I was of the opinion that having all four of them would have been pretty sick.
It would have been
Kind of
really
would have
cool.
added like another Uber too to that tier. Um, because it was like at 23 points or something, which I think is reasonable because you've got all four of these fucking
Right. I think that's what I was
Pokemon.
gonna bump it up to. I think originally it was where's Hearthflame? Let me see. Yeah, it was originally I believe 18 for
Really?
it was 18
I
or it was 18 or 19 for all 4 of
oh
them.
I thought it was with because I
No,
thought there was four of Fluttermane, Genesect, Lugia. I thought it was at 22,
no, I'm sure there
but
was a probably an RCS there or something. But
oh probably yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, that guy's
No,
crazy.
I think I mean I'm glad I got my Ogrepon. I think it kind of slotted in well, and we do get to see three of them,
Hmm.
and I think all three of them are good, so they'll be brought. Um, I think personally, Hearthflame is overrated.
Really?
If you can't like the reason Hearthflame got banned was it was on a Sun team, and you could Terra and get the +1 attack boost, and then resisted Ivy Cudgels in the Sun at +1 with your heart with your mask being 1.2 was super hard to switch into, like damn near impossible. Not being able to Terra in that mod and getting that +1, I think kind of puts them at the same level as some of the other Ogrepons. I would even say Wellspring is better because I think its ability is better,
They
and
weren't. I
water
think
typing
they
is
were in the
better than
same tier,
fire
weren't
for the
they?
most part.
Okay, they were in
They
the same.
were.
They were in the same
Yep,
tier.
they were in the same tier. So um, yeah, that's kind of one thing that was my opinion that I was like Hearthflame seems overpriced compared to the other ones.
I
I
think it's.
definitely thought
I think it's still got it like that.
yeah, I think they're all gonna be good still too. Yeah.
And then Giratina is the other Uber, right? So he's got kind of a big 4 here. Giratina is this thing. I don't know who's killing this. I don't know what kills this.
Not a lot.
But
I was looking at calcs and like super effective stab moves on Ubers. It was Spectre. I was looking at Spectre
yeah,
into it, and Spectre is no slouch, right?
yeah, no, that put
145 special attack. You're clicking a stab Shadow Ball. I
yeah,
think it did 40%.
yeah. I mean, it's
I'm
crazy.
I'm pretty sure.
Was that even
Was
into the
not two
origin
shotting
form
it.
either? That's the other thing. The origin or
Well, the Origin
oh
one
no,
is not as
origin is
tanky.
less rather. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
Actually,
Origin form is more
I was backwards. I was
attack
backwards.
oriented.
Does this thing get any
Yeah.
recovery at all?
I think rest is common
Well, obviously
is
it
the
gets
only
rest.
thing. Yeah. I don't think it does get actual recovery because then it would be unkillable.
Right.
Um,
It does get pain split. But
yeah, but you have
when you
150
have
health,
150
so
health, yeah,
you're not
you're not
clicking
gonna be
pain
you're not
split.
gonna be clicking it, of course. Yeah. Leftovers might be the thing on this guy. Unkillable. I don't know. Could be insane. Keaton seems sick. Hope he does well. That's the champ for ya. Who do you got?
Agreed.
Who do you got at 3? Who do you got at 3 here?
I got Ian at 3.
Okay, okay. I got Colin. Let's just write them all down here, and then we'll start jumping around.
Okay. You got AJ at 1.
He's
I'm
always
excited.
he's 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 always the one in my
He
book,
is.
dude.
He is like always that one.
AJ's my goat.
We're kind of all over the place.
Yeah,
I can talk about my team
we're super far
real
over the
quick
top here.
here.
Yeah, yeah, because I have you at 5 actually. So
Yep.
freeze,
I have
change my
I
mind.
have myself at 2,
You're
which I
at
think is
5.
the highest
Change my mind.
I've I've ever placed myself at. And I look at my team and I don't see many weaknesses. I think it did a really good job of having really good offensive types speed tiers and then a lot of good defensive Pokemon as well. Um, I have I think I have 6 Ubers, 5 Ubers basically.
Okay,
Um,
I'll decide.
so Spectre is an Uber, even though it's 15 points.
That was so
Zamazenta,
undercosted. It's unbelievable.
yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
I think you actually got
Zamazenta,
paid on
Qianpao, so
Terapagos
6.
and
I have
Spectre.
6. I have 6. Um, so I think when I grabbed those 2 Pokemon, I was like, why are they still here? I'm I'm really happy I have Zamazenta. I'm like looking at every single one of these matchups, like, and I'm like, oh, Zamazenta looks great here. Zamazenta looks great here, and I'm really excited to use that Pokemon. I remember when AJ used it in like season 2 or something like that, and I
One.
didn't even know it got the defense boost.
I think it's one, but yeah.
It was yeah, Zamazenta Crown. Maybe it was 1. Um, and I just remember this Pokemon being sick. I think it will be great defensively and offensively. Qianpao, this ice type that is an amazing speed tier. It's gonna be clicking buttons, Mega Salamence, Flying Stab. Not a lot of people resist, and I like it's like Mega Flying Stab with Aerialate, Fast Dragon, Magearna, one of the best fairies in the league. Zygarde, one of the best ground types in the league. I don't know. I look at my team and I'm really happy, and I'm excited to play it because I feel like every Pokemon is really good, except for maybe 2 of them. And even then, they're good. Like Thunderous Therian and Cornerstone are the 2
Right.
that I'm like not like super duper like, oh, these guys are busted. Um, but the rest of them, I'm feeling like they can fit any week. Um, yeah, that's basically it. I look at my team and I'm like, what's wrong with it? So you have me at 5. What's wrong with my team, Zach?
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't have any time. Nothing. Looks like nothing's wrong with your team. Let me try and analyze it for a second here. Nothing. Nothing's wrong with your team. No, I actually don't know. No, your speed looks crazy. Looks like you one of the faster teams. You have a lot of guys at this 110 plus area. That sounds nice, for sure. So you're gonna be beating out. Like the 110 obviously isn't really that fast in this league, but it's gonna cover a good more than half of most people's teams. So it's gonna be super nice that way. Yeah, I think you kind of got paid on Terapagos and Spectre. Spectre are normally banned in our Ubers league or in our OU leagues, by the way. It's just a Pokemon that isn't normally allowed. Emmett was the only other person to draft at that back in season 1.
All Ghost, All Boo, No Bite.
Right.
One of the best names,
Yeah,
but
it's a goat team name. Yeah, I mean your team is crazy. I definitely have you underranked, but what are you gonna do? I think what I would do is not do anything because I don't care. But your team looks super sweet. I really like that you have, like you're saying here, a lot of. I mean, everybody looks nuts in your team. I mean, the whole way down. Honest to God, yeah, I think you're right. I mean, Torn outside of Torn, I'm actually pretty low on. I'm not a big Torn guy, but even like Cornerstone, maybe he's like your last pick, maybe one of your weaker guys. I think this guy is gonna have good matchups. Sturdy's a really, really good ability. I think in this format where everybody is like OHKOing everybody, I think
fast taunter.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah,
reliable lead. Was kind of like my thought process when
hmm
picking him. Was like he's gonna be super reliable. Not a lot of people will be leading a Pokemon that's faster than 110 and trying to set up hazards. So it's
right,
easy for me to kind of be like, okay, this guy's faster than me. He's not gonna be clicking stealth rocks,
right.
right? So, um,
Yeah, you're talking a lot of sense. Yeah, it looks really nice. Chien-Pao's crazy. I have been the other guy to use that Pokemon. I realized way too late that was the best Pokemon on my team. I hope you figure that out really early that Shenpao is the best Pokemon on your team,
Yeah, it's just gonna
because
be brought every week. Like it's
it is just that crazy.
there's like two vacuum waves I think, and one Mach Punch,
Present.
and yeah, you have a vacuum wave. No, because I don't even think there's a Mach Punch.
No,
And
no, because Blaziken gets
I thought
Vacuum
you were
Wave. I have
uh-huh.
I have Vacuum Wave. Um, I'm sure there's some other shit
There's
that
more. Vacuum wave is a little bit
Vacuum Wave's for sure
easily.
gonna kill you, easy peasy.
Sneasler has it. Mega
Yeah.
Blaziken has it. Annihilate has it. Iron
Okay.
Valiant has it.
Okay.
So definitely
Blood
something
Moon.
to look out for. Blood Moon does.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
I might take a lot of damage from
Past
my
that,
shield.
nobody in the league,
Right.
which is like half. So
Mhm.
like half the league has a vacuum wave.
You know what's epic, Ryan? Here, I'm gonna give you some free prep right now. Um. Oh wait, never mind. I'm thinking of fucking upper hand for some reason. Yeah, never mind. Just
I was
disregard.
gonna say I don't think Shenpao gets upper hand.
Disregard. I'm saying no. What I was gonna tell you to do was run out like a covert cloak on your guys so you can't get flinched, and
Uh,
then you just kill anyways. But that's a different move. Yeah, your team's crazy. I don't know. You
yeah,
got anything
we
else
had
to say
two
about your
minutes.
team?
I'm not blaming you. No, I'm excited to play it. I think I grabbed a lot of undercosted mon, and that's why my team looks good. And I grabbed a lot of things that were kind of falling and tried to build it around those Pokemon, and I think I did a relatively good job.
I would agree. I like what you got going on. Okay, you have Colin at 1. Is this because you got a big boner for the sun, or do you really think he's
I
got it like
mean,
that?
look at his
I'm
team,
I'm
man.
gonna tell you about his team real quick here, okay?
Okay, you do that. I'm gonna stand up for a second.
God bless. What do you think he's doing, guys? What do you think he's doing? He's got his headphones on. He's walking in the other room. I don't know what he's doing. Probably muted up because he's gonna go take a piss or something.
Yeah, just
Anyhow,
start talking.
anyhow, like, why does his team suck? I can tell you why here. All right, because I don't know, man. I didn't have any time. His team doesn't suck. Looking at it, I wish he'd grabbed a chlorophyll Pokemon outside of Mega Venusaur. That's like my one thing, maybe. I also don't know how much space Skarmory has in this team, but I mean, obviously, what's one Pokemon? Everybody's got one or two Pokemon that isn't that good. Outside of that, obviously he's got the combo. He's got the Groudon Fluttermane combo. That's insane. He's got a couple guys that click fire moves in the sun here. We've got Victini, Reshiram, Solgaleo, partly. Those guys are all nuts. Um, I think the Reshiram is going to be crazy town for sure. To kind of peep that thing a touch more here. Obviously, it clicks Fusion Flare in the sun. We all have got a boner for
Base
that.
150 special attack.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. I won't deny that amount of special attack. That really is a lot. This thing might be the best Scarford of all time, is what I'm seeing. It could be a
In the sun.
yeah,
Yeah.
it could be a goat in the sun with its scarf. I mean, these are crazy moves, quite honestly. This is crazy stats, crazy moves. You could even click Blue Flare if you want for 85. Like if you want to if you're a Fire Blast gamer instead of Flamethrower, you can click
hmm
Blue Flare instead. That's cool.
No, he has base 100 special move where it's 100 damage and
Well,
100% accuracy.
I understand that. I'm saying the equivalent is
Oh yeah, Fire Blast
Flamethrower
versus. Yep, I gotcha.
versus
I'm stupid.
Fire Blast. Obviously both of the ones that Reshiram gets exclusively are higher power than the other two. Um, but anywho, yeah, his team's crazy. I love Raging Bolt. That guy's super cool. Him in the sun was something I had. It was really fun. Um, and Mega Venusaur is super cool. I'm glad that somebody took a Mega in which they're not gonna maybe Mega it instantly always. I think that's super fun. It's gonna be kind of skill testing on that way on what you need. If you need the speed, if you need the thick fat on it, that could be interesting. If the game is gonna go late, you think, and you want to keep the speed, and maybe you use it early, but maybe you don't Mega it. I don't know. Whatever. Solgaleo might be insanity on his team. I'd say it's a steel type in the sun, So these fire moves are gonna hurt more. Fire moves not mega common, at least
He has
in the stab
two
variety.
quad resist as
Yeah,
well.
enlighten me on those Pokemon. He's got Walking Wake
Walking Wake and Reshiram.
and Reshiram. All right, yeah, those are nuts. So fair enough there with that guy. Yeah. So if you are gonna be against the fire type move, you got crazy switch-ins for them. If you're not though, you get to Morning Sun up in the sun. This thing's gonna be living forever. It's gonna be happy to teleport out on you or set up screens or this is like a crazy weakness policy Pokemon. Also, it is nuts. Victini's a cute little guy, and
Got base 185 stab move in the
right,
sun.
right. I know all about it.
But it's not stab.
It's not stab. It's not stab. But my attack is 80 points higher on
That's
Rayquaza.
true.
So it might hit harder. But
Isn't it 50? You're 150, right?
is he?
Rayquaza's 150. I'm pretty sure.
He is. He is. Obviously,
I mean, same difference. Same difference. A
Victor
lot fucking higher.
V Crate is the 180 number that I was thinking of. Okay, tell
Oh.
me about your boner for this guy's Sun team.
I mean, his first three picks were literally my dream. If I was doing a Sun team, Groudon, Flutter, Reshiram, and he got him. And then I was thinking Walking Wake was likely gonna fall to him, and it's so nice to have a stab water move that is boosted in the sun, right? Like it covers a lot of like the rock or ground types
Right.
that are super effective that you want to bring into the sun team.
Hmm.
It covers that so well. Where I just feel like it was like a necessity.
I get it, Ryan. You've
Um,
drafted Walking Wake
I
before.
I
Okay, I
know, but
get
it's
it.
I
I
think I
get it.
think it's my favorite Sun Pokemon that I've had, and Colin wasn't on it right away. I talked to Colin a lot because I was just like,
You're
yo,
just
I've drafted Sun
feeding him the Sun
three
information.
three times. A lot of these Pokemon were Pokemon I would also draft. But then a couple of them sprinkled in were just like Colin wanted to play the Pokemon, which is I obviously didn't draft his team for him, and he came up with a lot of these ideas himself. And I was just like, yes, this is a good idea, right? Like it got to him where he had like Sol Galeo. He's like, I'm thinking of drafting this Pokemon. I was like, this guy's fucking nuts with your team. You have a teleport, a bulky Uber, a steel type, and like a guy that wants to click Morning Sun in the sun. Like, yeah,
Hmm.
he's pretty fucking good with your team, Colin. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he drafted it, right? So it was like, I only think Urshifu doesn't work well with this team, and same thing with Skarmory. I think Skarmory was kind of like that. I don't have a ground resist yet, and I feel priced into that, which makes total sense.
Yep.
That's like his weakness, right? Is like almost a lot of his team is weak to this ground.
Hmm.
Um, but other than that,
I mean,
like
Urshifu doesn't like
I think
fit in like the Sun team, but
yeah, but he's still a
it's just
beast,
a great
right?
Pokemon. I
Like
mean,
he's just a really good Pokemon. He didn't have a fighting type. He didn't have a dark type, or he didn't have a strong dark type at the time, like a physical attacking one. He doesn't even have a dark type, right? This is only dark. Oh,
Grimmsnarl.
Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl. Oh, duh.
But
I,
yeah, but not
I
not not,
sometimes
not not
think
much
it's
of an
fire.
attacking Pokemon though.
Yeah, you're clicking screens, which I think look great in his team, right? Try killing this tanky Groudon and Reshiram behind some screens.
Yep.
It's gonna be pretty hard. And then obviously Grimmsnarl can take the Psychic Fangs. Doesn't have anybody to take. He doesn't have a Ghost type, which is fine. Oh no, he has Fluttermane,
Fluttermane.
but you're not gonna be wanting to
Yeah,
like
it's
like
it's
I'm
it's it's
predicting a
it's
brick
scary.
break.
I mean, you can do
Yeah.
that for sure, but it is scary with these
Hmm.
Pokemon that are gonna be packing Brick Break. Usually, are gonna be the ones with the higher physical attack stat as well. So if you catch like a random just neutral stab move from them, you might just fucking fall over on the spot
His
trying to block the Brick Break.
His team is just the one that works the best together, and that's what happens when you draft Weather, and
Right.
that gives me like an automatic like better than these teams that are just kind of picking the best available Pokemon,
Hmm.
kind of like what I did. Um, but he has he has really good Pokemon still that work really well together, and I think it's going to be terrifying, like to bring into this team because like these resisted Sun moves by some of his Ubers, if you're not a bulky resist, you're gonna be taking at least half your health. Like it's crazy. Like I'm pretty sure Slow King, which is like no slouch into fire moves, like 110 special defense and like 90 health, like
Yep.
will take half of his health into a Reshiram Sun boosted Blue Flare. And it's just like, what do you do against that? You know? Like you just fucking die and hope you have something faster than it to like threaten to kill it, but then it's so bulky itself you might not kill it in one. Right? Like this team's scary. It's really good. And I think you'll do well.
I'm pulling out this calc. I'm curious about it here. Okay, for what it's worth, max, not max, sorry, 2d2 special attack. I'll get modest here real quick just for grins, because I gave the nature to Slowking. Oop, the sun wasn't up, but still. Into max but def Slowking in the sun. Blue Flare is doing 33 to 39. Fusion Flare doing 25 to 30.
So 40%.
From modest Reshiram. Yeah,
Yeah.
40%. That's
Now slap a
regenerator.
fucking choice specs on it too. You know, like that's a possibility.
Right.
You just like
Yeah. Blue Flare is 99.6% chance then to Oko, so that is a lot better than a lot of kids are doing for sure. I'm not gonna deny
so
that. This Pokemon is strong in the sun. Yeah.
yeah. That's my big boner over his team was he picked the sun Pokemon, obviously known to love the sun myself, and I think he did a good job
Yeah,
filling
you
out the
are.
squad. Yep.
All right, so we got the
So
other weather team here coming up next. Not literally weather, but the terrain team. Something we really haven't gotten to see before, which is kind of cool. Obviously,
mhm.
it hasn't really been enabled.
No, don't talk about Jack's psychic terrain team like that. Come on.
Oh shit! That's a bad dig from me. That's unintentional, Jack. It just wasn't that memorable, I guess. So here we
I
go.
thought it did pretty good.
We got Tapu Koko here, the second terrain team ever to show up. But this one might be a little bit better. I think Tapu Koko is a much stronger enabler than Indeedee. Tapu Koko is super good. He's got his Zekrom, which is going to be, all the things we just said about Reshiram having, fire move in the sun. We had electric
Electric
move
move
in
is doing
the
the same
terrain,
fucking
right?
thing.
Same
Like
deal, uncontested. This guy even has
you
got,
have ground types, which
yeah,
is nice,
yeah.
where there's an immunity, but
Mhm.
dragons hit ground types still pretty well too. If
Yeah,
you're just fucking clicking G Dragon Claw or something like that,
yeah,
like
yep, yeah. And he even gets nothing. I don't know, seeing here. I was gonna say I saw ice on the collar, but it was haze and
he, he's a
HP
good
ice.
special attacker too. So that was one thing that like I think Ian was noticing towards the end of the draft was
Mhm.
like this guy's still base 120 special attack. He has what is it, rising voltage,
Yep.
like which I think might if you're going a special attacking build and you want the strongest electric type, I'm pretty sure rising voltage is more damage than his fusion bolt, right? That's his strongest, or does he have the 130
I'm
electric type move?
I'm gonna check here. I'm just curious here. So what is
Oh, he
it's
has bolt strike.
it's
Bolt
okay.
strike
Okay, so it's
is
bolt
130
Bolt Strike
85%
versus
accuracy.
Rising Voltage. Okay.
Mhm.
And then we need to see the electric terrain here. Yeah, Rising Voltage does more. Well, I guess hang on. Let me give 'em both full
Put
kind
in
of
like an
see.
Arceus, which is like 120 on both.
Well, yeah. It doesn't. Oh, sure. No, that makes sense because you would want it to be the same. That's a good point, Ryan. That's a good point. HP, yeah. Okay. Okay. Looks like Bolt Strike doing about 5% more rather. But
Still very
really
yeah.
close.
Yeah. So like
So
if you ever have this fucking big ass, I don't know, physical tank. Do we really have that many like fucking
big
big physical
physical
tanks?
tanks. I've got
You got the Blisseys,
yeah,
or you have a Blissey for the special.
special. I
But
mean
like I'm sure Ferrothorn, he's probably more physical
no,
biased than
Fairfrom's
special.
got it both ways. I mean like
Oh, he does.
Melmetal is a guy that's
Yeah.
got a crazy defense stat and
And I'm sure there's plenty of others that are like
great
40,
Tusk.
50, one way or the other. Yeah.
Great Tusk is like that. Obviously,
Mhm.
you're immune to the electric type moves, but yeah, I'm sure there's others here that we're not
Yeah,
instantly
he's
seeing.
still dropping Dracos, right? Which is better than fucking clicking Outrage into a lot of teams that have one really good fairy or potentially even two.
Hmm.
So Like this thing can be both physical or special. Obviously, the 90 speed tier is like I'm gonna be clicking Scarf or Dragon Dance on this every week. It's like one or the other. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, agreed with him basically being the Reshiram of electric types in electric terrain.
Hmm.
I think he'll be great.
Yeah, he was a Pokemon that was. I guess it makes sense. I mean, he went earlier on too, so it makes sense. But Marshadow is tier one. I'm so glad Ian went with this after the game he was talking early on, or late into last season, and then early into the mumblings, the rumoring of maybe doing Uber's draft. How he kept saying my Marshadow is gonna beast on everybody. I'm so glad that he's the one that got it actually, with all the game he was spitting. So I need to see it. I think I am a little hesitant on this Pokemon, and I know other people might be too. I don't know if we're all a big echo chamber here saying it's insane, but I do need to see this thing in action just because I don't have a lot of game time with it or seeing it. Because it's actually got one of the sadder, if you got a boner for Austin here, or at least what Austin talks about, the BST.
EST, it
Um,
is low.
it's not that great compared to
It's pretty
a
frail.
lot of these other crazy Ubers. Yeah, 90 90 90 or sorry, 90 80 90 rather for bulk. Obviously it's got a pretty great speed tier, good special or good attack, pretty good. 125 is not insane. Only 5 more than Blaziken, Ryan, and you were really shit talking that guy. But he's got crazy moves. He makes you kind of play it a different way. We talk a lot of times about like um Shuckle or Smeargle, these things that like I guess those are just two like sticky web Pokemon, right? But Spearow can go a little bit wider. That make you kind of think in the prep room a little bit, and that's mainly what you get drafted for. I think Marshall does that, but he actually gets to show up though and do the thing anyways.
Hmm.
Where it's scary to set up against this guy, right? I mean, stealing the stats is crazy. It's not like he turns them off; he takes them. So if you want to be clicking Dragon Dance, you better be faster than 125 fucking speed against Ian. Like you
With the
need.
Scarf. I really think like a Scarf
Well, yeah,
Spectral Thief,
obviously
like every single week
that's what I'm saying. That's what I was
is
getting at. I'm,
obvious.
I'm
Yeah,
saying that you need to make sure you're higher than 125 speed if you're gonna be going +1 on a move, because you're just gonna get your shit stolen and you're gonna fucking
Mhm.
insta lose this Marshadow guy.
I
Uh,
think Calm Mind's a little bit safer
right?
because
Yeah.
obviously he's
Obviously.
not going to use in the special attack, but the special defense boost is still nice,
Yep.
right? Like, so I'm in agreement. The one comment I have on Marshadow is I did want him. If he's going to make it to me, I was going to take him. But this was also with 15 Arceuses in the draft,
Mhm.
and Arceus is known to set up.
Right.
And it was like one of the Pokemon where it's just like if Arceus is legal, I think Marshadow is probably the best Pokemon because you're bringing everybody's gonna have an Arceus, right?
Right.
And you're gonna likely want to set up. Now that means that you're against this Marshadow. I don't really want to set up because Marshadow's faster at
That makes sense.
125
Yep.
versus 120.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that was like a big reason that I wanted Marshadow when Arceus was there, and I wasn't like super sad when I was gone, was because it's like okay, like yeah, people are gonna want to click Dragon Dance and all this stuff, all these setup moves, but it doesn't seem as necessary as when all these Arceuses were in it. Obviously, still an awesome Pokemon. You're gonna have a Stab, Technician boosted Shadow Sneak in a league with two normal types.
Right.
That's gonna be really nice as well. Um, Ghost fighting, nothing resists those two stab combos. Um, it's a great Pokemon overall. Yeah, I think his three, like I was saying a little bit earlier, his first three picks were probably one of my favorite of the draft. I had him at 3, right?
Yep.
Is where I had him.
Yeah, I meant to.
Um,
Um,
I thought he got a little too defensive. I think in an Ubers league where I feel like it is going to be a little bit more offense. Um, like I didn't see the need for an Umbreon.
yeah.
Toxapex is probably going to be fine.
Yeah.
I think Gliscor was
I
good.
think Gliscor Pex is good. Yeah, I think like
Hmm.
you're saying, Umbreon might be reaching a little bit on that. I mean, we've seen this thing do great work in our
I mean,
league.
I'm a big
He's a
big Umbreon
big
fan.
Umbreon believer. Got himself a ring with it even. But yeah, Umbreon, I am going to see if it can stand up against these big guys here. Obviously, Gliscor and Pex with the innate healing gives them a little bit more longevity where you don't lose so much tempo clicking your healing moves. You just have to switch out or stay on the battlefield for Gliscor's sake. I kind of like the Whimsicott. Not that's
Hmm.
not quite
I agree.
The Whimsicott's nice. I think it's gonna be it's like a hard bring though, you know. Like
Yeah,
it's obviously it's nice to say like okay I have this really fast encore or it's not really fast it's
you
prankster
pranks.
encore
Yeah,
and prankster whatever the else the fuck you want to have
screens. Pretty sure
screen
it had screens,
yeah
right?
I don't know but it's
Actually,
like
don't know
are
either.
you just gonna like bring that blind you know I guess you know if you're testing and you're like man I keep getting my ass kicked
That is light screen,
this
not reflect.
Pokemon that's you know clicking setup moves or whatever you have to one bring Whimsicott in when you don't know they're gonna do that. Two, uh, switch it in on said Pokemon when you're expecting a setup move, and if you get it wrong, your guy's probably just dead,
Yeah,
right?
Whimsicott's a fucking pussy,
Yeah. So
right? Like this thing's gonna die
and your
to
opponent
any
here, I
Uber
mean,
hit.
you know, they know that you have brought Whimsicott this week, so they're probably going to be a little bit more apprehensive about clicking their setup moves. Um, where the onus is going to be on you twice, I think, in which you have to bring it, and then also win your little guess game here, dice roll on when are they going to click X setup move, where I get to gain some tempo on an encore into like a U-turn or whatever else your punish is going to be. So, on Scott, I would say it's only a 10 pointer, so who really gives a shit too much?
Hmm.
Iron Treads is great. I'm glad that I picked up another Iron Pokemon at the end here. He's got Iron Bundle and Iron Treads. Iron Treads, I like that for his defensive Pokemon, in which it's a lot of time I imagine going to be maybe like booster Spadef or booster defense. Not booster, but you know, the electric train rather, whatever it's called. Cork drive. And then he's running back Latias also, which is sweet. I like the support that thing brings. You know, it was like his first round pick the last time he used it, where maybe it was like a little bit of a letdown because it didn't get to be offensive as much as maybe you want it to be. But I think in this
Hmm.
league, you're going to be pretty happy just having it be like your main support Pokemon, where it can click all the status moves you want, it can set up screens, it can healing wish, yada yada.
Yeah, that was from my last round. The
Ryan,
post
Ryan,
where it
your
went
mic's not
pretty
working.
offensive. Can you hear me now?
Um, yeah, okay, you're good, you're
Okay, that was odd. That was one of the Pokemon that in my last draft, I wish I went Latias instead of Latios. I felt like the defensive healing wish, a little bit more bulk, was actually better than a little bit more offense than flip turn. In a draft league, it felt like I could do a little bit more things with Latias than I could Latios.
good.
So I'm glad to see that he picked that. Um, One thing that I'm kind of I thought Iron Crown was like a must. Not a must, but I thought Iron Crown looked really good
Yeah, he
with
was
his
looking
team.
at all of these. He had one turn. I forgot what he picked over it. It was Bundle. It was Bundle, which is like his best Pokemon on his team, and we'll talk about that
Yeah,
after this here. Um, but he was looking at all these Psychic Steel type Pokemon to to fit the bill here on which one he wanted. He was looking like Mega Metagross, Iron Crown, as you're saying, Solgaleo, and he just ended up skipping it entirely. You know, I'm sure he's got his reasons. Didn't hear why, or maybe don't remember why rather. But yeah, skipped it entirely. Uh, yeah, Crown will be sick. Obviously, you can only run
I
so many
thought Crown looked
Pokemon.
so good. Like I think you were the one that was talking about it, where like the times where you wish that you didn't have to bring booster energy and this thing was kind of like sweeping in the Ubers League.
Hmm.
Um, and now you don't have to, and now you get an item.
Right.
I, yeah, I thought that Pokemon was really good. I was surprised he didn't take it. Um, Threads obviously is good as well. He didn't really have a rapid spinner or ways to get rid of hazards, but like you had like defog on Latias if you were planning on picking that. I
Yeah.
think Gliscor has defog as well, um, which you're probably going to be bringing every week and most likely being a little bit more like of a pivot
Yeah.
than offensive,
Oh
which
yeah.
like defog would be great on that type of Gliscor set.
Hmm.
Um, and so yeah, I think that was my biggest surprise was seeing Iron Crown left still on the board. And then he has a weaker Mega. Um,
Yeah. So here's the thing about
and
this. Like, I know you're only gonna bring like Mega Houndoom probably one time into Mr. Sun over there. I get it, right?
mm,
But it's like for 3 points. If you look at the other 3 pointers on the board, it's just like it's actually a bringable Pokemon, even though it
Yeah,
is only a ninth, 1/9 of your games, as opposed to like Honchkrow, which is a total sack of a Pokemon every single week, regardless. So I think I don't mind it. Obviously, Mega Tyranitar I think is a lot better than 9 points also, but that's just kind of how they were
I feel
formatted,
like
where the
he had
weaker
16.
megas.
He had 16 points, right? Like,
Hmm.
wasn't a large part of why, like, Mega Honchkrow was, or not Honchkrow, lol, Mega Houndoom was obviously better than like the other 3 pointers, but wasn't that because you're only allowed to bring one?
Correct. Yeah, yeah. You
And
can only draft one
like it
Mega.
was so in that sense, I feel like megas are still really strong, right? Like
Yeah,
I'm
they are.
happy
They
I
are.
have like one of the best ones. I think that's kind of what's bringing Ian's team down is like he doesn't have a strong mega to bring every week. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but it's like I think that for Ian's sake, it was more of just a okay, I kind of get this, as opposed to just like taking some junk. Like your Mega is just an Uber, right? Like it's just like
yeah,
it's costed like an Uber, it plays like an Uber, it just is an Uber. I think my Mega is going to be the one that is comparable here across the board. It looks like everybody else that has one, it's kind of not super similar, and where they're Devin's got like an Uber Mega. Obviously, we're talking about Ian right now. Jack skipped it altogether. Austin's is an Uber. Blaziken is an Uber. Mega Venusaur would be another one like Tyranitar. AJ skipped it and Uber on Blastoise. So yeah, so the Tyranitar and Venusaur, they are these like uber power level stat wise Pokemon, but they're not so insane in which they get to kind of right at the top like everybody else. So I think the Houndoom's fine. I don't really think it's a detriment to his team. That's the what I'm trying to get at here in my
I get
my
that.
whole
I'm
thing.
not saying it's bad. Like I think it's a good 3 pointer. I'm just saying with the people that picked a high tier mega are gonna be happier, right? Like that's
with
that's kind of what I'm
with their
getting at.
Mega, but it's like he just took another Uber instead, right? That's why I don't think it matters. Like you could
I
just
guess.
take an Uber. Like if you would instead of Mega Salamence drafted X Dragon type Pokemon, I don't care what it is, super high points. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? It's just a different.
Mhm.
This one just has to hold the Mega Stone. That's the only difference. Iron Bundle is on Ian's team also. This is obviously the thing
Don't
we were just
miss
just talking.
Hydro Pump.
Don't miss Hydro Pump. You can be a pussy and run Surf, can't you?
Nope, Surf is not a move that Iron
Honestly,
Bundle gets. Yep.
I
That's
I know
that's
you
like
had it.
that's the one negative about Bundle is I think it only has one special attack.
It's
Maybe it
got
has
it's got
Whirlpool.
Water Pulse and Chilling Water, but obviously those are much worse.
Hmm. So it's like I know that's like the one bad thing about Bundle, where Bundle would be even better if it had Surf,
Hmm.
right? Like because most of the time you'd be running Surf unless your Hydro Pumps are like I'm actually able to kill this thing that I wouldn't normally. But so yeah, don't miss your hydro pumps. I do think that freeze dry, having a super fast freeze dry is gonna be
Yeah, Freeze
super
Dry might
nice
be kind of
here.
smurfing in this league,
Like
honestly.
a lot of these bulky waters, like I'm pretty sure Iron Bundle with water and freeze dry, nothing switches into it. It's like similar, like where it has no
Yeah,
resistances.
correct.
So that is sorry, that is gonna be hard to switch into,
Yeah,
obviously.
the bundle's insane for sure.
Uh,
And
and a great speed tier.
yeah, great speed tier with the electric terrain. Also, you get to have your free scarf
Auto speed,
basically,
yeah.
and you can run like a life orb or something where you're just gonna be absolutely ridiculous every single week. Just this impossible to hit guy because you're gonna have to switch in on his freeze dry or his hydro pump or whatever, and he's gonna fast flip turn out on you. And he's got the defensive core to back it up. I think Ian's team's
Hmm.
crazy.
Hmm.
Um, okay, lastly, we haven't talked about him yet. Obviously, you have AJ at 5. I have AJ at 1.
I was gonna say, I was like, have we talked about everybody?
We haven't done
Um,
about AJ's team yet. Uh,
so do you want to start?
sure, I'll start,
Should I
whatever.
start?
Yeah, sure, you start.
Okay, I'll start because I'm lower on him. I think it's like one of those things similar to Keegan, where it's like he's got a good team, right? Like there's no denying it, but it just seems kind of all over. I don't want to say all over the place.
I'm just
Like
gonna
you got
stop you
like
there.
okay,
Okay, AJ built around Pheromosa endgame, Calyrex endgame. Done. That's that's what he built around. You're saying all over the place. He just got a game plan every single week. One of those two Pokemon in the back, sweeping endgame. His whole team is dedicated to make it happen. I think you're wrong about it being all over the place. I think he's got a built-in game plan every single week. He's got
Okay.
the fastest Pokemon in the draft at 151? No, 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 no nobody took Dio
Uh,
speed, correct?
yeah,
Yeah. So
that'd be correct then.
outside of a unburdened Sneasler, it is the fastest Pokemon in the league. Um,
Any priority move kills it.
I don't agree with you. It quadras is Sucker Punch, right?
Any
Which is
move other than Sucker
one of
Punch.
the more common priority moves that people have access to in the league. I don't think it's that much of a jump. You're
It does
crazy.
not. It does not quad resist.
Okay,
Sucker
fair
Punch.
enough. Sure, two times two rather. Obviously it hits it both ways on offense, but yeah, I don't know. I think he was crazy, man. He's got it all. Tinglu is gonna make a lot of progress early, just doing normal Tinglu things. Um, Diancie also. Torn is gonna get to keep pivoting around with the help of Zerazora and Glowking, and then Pheromosa if you want to be doing Cali end games. I think he's got it all. Tell me why it's bad. You need to enlighten me.
Well, that's what I you interrupted me. I just felt like
I
it was
know.
all
I
over
had
the
to.
place.
I had to.
Like I get it. Like you've got this Callie that's gonna be great clicking Trick Room and like being faster than 95% of the league. Like it's gonna be in quotes faster than all of Keegan's team, all of Colin's team. Your team, you only have one person, Melmetal. Shenenja's fake. So faster than Devin's team. Toxapex, maybe. But what is Toxapex doing? Maybe getting a scald.
I don't know. Toxapex might not
Yeah,
do anything.
like I get it. Like, and
Ferrothorn's
then
gonna put in the work.
yeah, Ferrothorn's gonna be good. Slowking's gonna be, I don't know, maybe fine. I could
Dick's out for
similar to
Iron Ball.
Toxapex.
Dick's out for Iron Ball. Everybody,
Iron
wake
Ball
up.
is a thing. So like, and obviously it's super tanky. Tinglu is gonna be a beast setting up hazards. I think Slowking's good. Um, I don't know. Maybe it's like I look at his team and I don't like a whole bunch of the Pokemon on his team. It's
I
kind of
think
maybe
that
my
is what
thing.
you're thinking.
Even though I do though, like I like Palkia a lot. I like Zeraora a lot. Orthworm's like my fucking
Orthworm doesn't matter.
favorite.
Orthworm doesn't
It's
matter.
fake. I know. Tinglu and Glowking. They're like all of those I like a lot. I don't know. Yeah, you're probably right. It's
So
the same thing
right,
you put me at 5, and
yeah,
you're just like, holy shit.
it's the
Like,
same thing
yeah, I
I've been saying
probably,
the whole time. It's
yeah.
like it just all comes down to what we said gut check wise off the rip.
Mhm.
You talk about why this team's insane. I don't have any rebuttal for it. Same diff here.
Yeah, I'm with you. I do think he has two of the faster Pokemon that are gonna outspeed nine. Like it outspeeds my whole team, right? His two fast Pokemon, and we were talking about how my speed tiers were really nice.
Hmm.
Palkia Origin is one of those 120 dragons that's gonna be super nice as well to outspeed the field if you go Origin form instead of having an item. Um, and Dragon Water is one of my favorite typings. Only Fairy Dragon hit it, and it's pretty defensive. Um, you got Special Rend that like I think you'd potentially bring more than Draco
I think you
if
just
you're
bring
thinking
Draco
of.
still. I don't know.
I think if you're like worrying about like wearing down majority of the team, I'd probably go Special Rend to make sure you can like stay out there longer. Um, but I don't know. Again, I think you see more of AJ's vision. You talk to him obviously more than I did during draft weekend. So I he's got a good team. I'm not excited to play him week 1. That's for sure. I think
Why
he's
not?
what do you mean why not?
Why not?
He's got a scary team. I think his team matches well into mine is the main thing.
Ooh.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I haven't really
Is it
looked.
because of the Orthworm?
No, it's not the Orthworm, dude. Like it's
I'm
AJ's
fu-
not bringing
I don't need to hear
AJ's
anything
not
else.
bringing that shit. Like
Ooh.
if he does, and I have Zygarde and Zygarde's out there, like I'm just
Are
gonna
you gonna
assume.
bring Focus Blast on Zygarde? That's my only question.
I don't know.
Uh,
Like, if I'm afraid of Orthworm, I don't think Orthworm looks good in the rest of my team. All right, I'm not giving AJ any more prep advice. All right, there we go. I'm done. Oh, AJ, I'd love it if you bring Orthworm. Like one of my favorite Pokemon. It would make sense into my team to like have somebody that can switch into 1,000 fucking arrows
it's
or
the
whatever.
only Pokemon in the world that can't
Oh.
get hit by 1,000 arrows.
Mhm.
It's crazy.
So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
there it is.
all these all these teams are great. All right, yeah. If you were ranked 10, sorry Devin, or if
Sorry,
you're ranked
me.
1, like, or yeah, sorry Zach. I think everybody has the opportunity to win games against anybody, and and that's gonna be fun, right? I think it's gonna be based off of how you play in the games and a little bit prep,
Right.
a
Yeah,
lot
I
of bit
mean,
prep,
I,
a
I
lot of
think that
prep.
gameplay is going to be so much more important than prep this season. Obviously,
Yep.
prep always matters, and when you do have like that big jump up in prep, it does give you such a serious advantage in the games. It feels like, but this looks like it's going to be immensely difficult to prep this season. In which
Yeah.
case, I think you're going to want to just stick to your game plan the most part you can, and probably I think across the board, what a lot of people's agenda is going to be. Most people are having like 3 or 4 Ubers. Maybe try and stick to somewhat of an idea about what you're going to try and do about those guys, right? And then let the rest kind of let the chips fall where they may, and just hopefully you can enact your game plan. But I like what everybody's got here. We keep saying it. This is looking like the most competitive league that we've had so far.
I don't
Obviously,
think anyone's bad
right,
as a player
right.
either,
I
right?
feel like
Like,
we've had 10-man leagues before. A lot of them were people where they were brand new. This is
you
this
have a
is this is
free
the first,
buy
right?
in
Yep,
quotations.
or a free buy, that type of stuff. In which this time nobody's brand new. I don't think anybody's a buy. Everybody's gotten wins before. Everybody's done a good job. So this could be the best draft league yet? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Is that gonna be
Um,
your thumbnail?
I don't know. No, it'll be a picture of some podcast that I find where I put our faces on it. But anywho, that is really all I have to say.
Yeah, that's about it for me too.
Okay.
I'm excited. It's
I
gonna
just
be fun.
let's see one more
Can't
thing
wait.
that I
Can't wait
thought
for
of.
3 weeks.
I want to just look at
Okay.
matchups for week one. Okay, let's see. Awesome.
Oh,
Yeah, right. So it's 3 weeks out. That's the other crazy thing here. Week one, you get the most prep time for a week or for a game you've ever had, which is kind of crazy. We're looking to start. What did I say? February
I think it's
29th, I want to
no, no,
say.
it's the week before. It's the 23rd, I think.
Okay, sure.
Yep, the
Yep,
23rd,
yep.
because it's the weekend
23rd.
after
Obviously,
Valentine's
February
Day.
29th doesn't exist. So unless it's a
It
leap year,
does every
right?
4 years.
Yeah, unless it's a leap year. So yeah, so the 23rd. So we have the time making this video quite a while here until
Over three
that
weeks.
that first Sunday. Yeah, I mean we got Ian and Austin. They actually played week one of last season.
Oh,
That's
that's
kind of
funny.
fun. Me and Noah. The last time Noah played Draft League, he won a championship, and I play him. Uh, that's crazy. And in the meantime, I was just losing every game, so that could be a total wash. You got Keegan coming off the win against Colin. Colin has a crazy team. So does Keegan, but Colin's like this nuts Sun team.
Sun Lord.
Sun Lord. You got Jack Devon. Devon was already talking a little smack. I know that. That's kind of fun, little in-house. And then of course you two, my two boys, AJ and Ryan. You guys gentlemening here, or what are you gonna do? You think?
I wasn't gonna ask anybody for prep. I would assume AJ's doing the same thing.
God
So
bless. Okay, there you go. Love to hear it. Obviously, you got 3 weeks to do it, so I hope everybody comes out with really, really sweet teams on week one, and we got some good games. But until then, watch the video. Glad you did if you got here. Thanks, everybody. Love ya. We'll see you week one.
peace.